welcome to the World Predictions podcast with me, your host, Psychic Selina. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about all the big predictions that came in within the last 7 days. And I'm going to be making some new predictions for you for the coming short-term and long-term future. So we're going to start with the first big prediction, which was that I saw Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, entering a very big sinkhole, metaphorically speaking, on the 21st to the 23rd of October. And now this has come true. It's come in because several members, it's actually up to 3 members now, of the Grooming gang inquiry to do with the grooming gangs scandal that had gone on in the United Kingdom. 3 of those members have actually resigned, they've walked out, and they are, alleging Keir Starmer or the Labour Party may have been trying to silence them on certain facts and aspects, and also a lot of allegations of things being covered up. Now, I'm still seeing him resigning, Keir Starmer. It's hard to say exact timings, but I do feel that this sinkhole that has emerged for him will be the beginning of the end. And he is on a downward spiral. And I actually predict something new will come out linked to this inquiry or documentation about him allegedly covering something up. And I feel it is that makes him resign. I actually made this prediction of something coming up or being exposed about Keir Starmer linked to grooming gangs. That is all alleged. I'm seeing that I actually made this prediction last year, so it is starting to play out. And it was actually last year that I saw October being very significant. So I'm still predicting that. The other big prediction is linked to this, and that was for the London Mayor, Sadiq Khan, that there is a massive scandal with him linked to the grooming gangs inquiry, that there is documentation to say that he allegedly covered things up. Now, we don't know why he covered things up. Some people are saying, was he involved in it? Was he bribed? Now, I know that Keir Starmer was the lawyer dealing with that case before he became Prime Minister. He was one of the lawyers on that case. So some people are saying, well, was he bribed? There's a lot of questions flying around on this, but my main prediction is, yes, Keir Starmer does resign, but also Sadiq Khan, the London Mayor's, going to resign. And I'm seeing within the next 7 days, more revelations and things getting really, really tense, leading us into the month of November. I'm also seeing that Sadiq Khan is just going to have a lot of bad press coming in for him. And then I am seeing a new London mayor when he does step down, and he could step down before Christmas. He could even step down within the next few weeks. Because they found a big document, but it's a 2-year document, I think they found, that outlines the different things about different stages and aspects of the grooming gangs inquiry. And it states in that document they found some sort of alleged evidence. I don't know the exact evidence, they didn't actually print it in the news, but it was to do with him allegedly covering things up. And why is he covering things up? He's supposed to be protecting the people of London, helping the people of London, helping the United Kingdom. Now, someone asked me, will he get his knighthood revoked? No, he won't, because when a knighthood is bestowed, it is there for life. It expires upon death. So they never revoke it. I remember for Jimmy Savile, he actually got 2 knighthoods. He got a knighthood from the Queen, and then he got an Order of the Knights of Malta, which is the highest one, I think. He got that as a papal knighthood from the Pope. So he was actually knighted twice, and neither of them were revoked, because a lot of people wanted Jimmy Savile to have his knighthoods revoked. So no, they don't, unfortunately, no, they don't get them revoked, but I think they should revoke it, but they don't, because there's a law, a legal terms that says, you know, if you have a knighthood, you have a coat of arms or a damehood. A damehood's for a lady, and it's there upon death. So someone asked me that question just to answer it. Keir Starmer's also been knighted. So they're both knights, which is interesting. Okay, now we're going into number 3. This was the Gaza ceasefire. Now, I predicted that the ceasefire would not last long. It would be breached, and allegedly it has been breached. They have said there's bombing on both sides, Hamas side and Israel side. More bombing has been reported in the news. So that's come in. I'm seeing a lot of start-stop with that energy there. They've actually sent British Army troops to Israel to try and keep the peace. One of my predictions around August or September this year was that UK would have some involvement in that Israel-Hamas Gaza area, that war zone area, and UK troops would have some involvement. So this has come in. I'm seeing more escalations in that area generally, and I'm actually seeing Iran being involved as well at some stage in the near future, and maybe some other countries as well, Syria, Qatar, different countries. And I see just tension and escalations of a build-up of a war in that Persian Gulf, Canaanite land, Israel, Gaza area. It's a specific area. Middle East countries. I don't think all Middle East countries will be involved, but I'm seeing some of them, especially the ones where Hamas have an HQ, a headquarters. So Iran, in particular, Syria. There's a few countries there. So it's just really tense when I tune into that energy, and I did not see the ceasefire lasting very long, unfortunately. Now we're coming into another war prediction I'd made. This is number 4, and this is for the Ukraine war. Now, I predicted that, I don't know if some of you remember, I predicted that if a peace talk went ahead, it would be inconclusive, but I saw a lot of delays with peace talks between Putin and Zelensky, and Putin and Trump. You know, they're trying to do a peace deal. I saw delays, and actually saw it may never happen. And it's been in the news that they're saying for the moment it's not happening. Trump was supposed to meet Putin, but no, it's now not happening. And I also saw Trump swearing. Now, I wasn't sure if this was to Netanyahu or who it was. I knew it was about a war situation and about a breaching of peace or not being able to reach a ceasefire or a peace situation. And it was in fact to do with the Ukraine war and Zelensky not wanting to give over certain aspects of land to Putin. So Trump then sweared and said the F word, naughty man Trump. And so that came in, because I did see that coming in within the next couple of weeks when I'd made the prediction. So Trump swore live on camera. And if you want to see that exact prediction video with the swearing video of Trump, go to my TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. It's on there. Right, so that came in. I actually feel when I tune into that situation at the moment, Trump does want some sort of peace deal there for various reasons. But I think Zelensky is very scared. He doesn't want to give any land to Putin. He wants peace, yes, but he doesn't want to give land. So this is really, really tension. Again, I see a lot of start, stop. I see that war dragging out. I don't see an end at the moment for that war in Ukraine. Now, number 5, this is another war situation. There seems to be a lot of war at the moment, and that, I'm just going to quickly recap about the astrology of that. That is a couple of things going on. The first one was Uranus entered Gemini on July the 7th. Last time that happened, World War II. So you're going to have escalations with Uranus energy. It provides a lot of erratic, angry, unstable, unpredictable energy. And Mercury, of course, is communication. So communication done in an angry way. And of course, one of those ways of doing that is war, bombing. The other transit was Pluto changed into Aquarius last November. So you've had basically a lot of war from November to now. And Pluto has been in retrograde. It now went direct. It was in retrograde from April this year. It's now direct from the 13th of October. So you've got loads and loads of revelations, scandals, breaches of ceasefire, issues with negotiation on terms, peace terms. You've got all of that going on. So you've got these two massive planetary transits. And of course, this is what happens when you have that. So number 5 was about the big submarine explosion that I saw. Now, I saw a Russian link, and there were actually 2 predictions that came in around the same time for submarines. And we've not had submarines in the news for quite a while, so this is quite unusual. So I actually saw this for, I think it was for October predictions, but we had the Russian submarine in the Mediterranean that they were scared it was carrying some sort of nuclear material, and they were scared that it was going to explode. And the other big prediction actually saw a submarine being torpedoed. It was a very specific image I saw, and it was of course a Venezuelan submarine that Trump and the US forces torpedoed, bombed, and then I think it sunk. I think a lot of people died. There were some people rescued, but not many. And it was allegedly to be carrying, I think, some sort of drugs thing. I'm not even sure what it was carrying, but it was one of those big submarines. So there's going to be, my prediction here with that energy is there's going to be another situation where the US is attacking or bombing, targeting, torpedoing a Venezuelan ship. Now, this could be a submarine, but I actually saw a vision last night of a big ship. It looked a bit like the Titanic, and it was sinking. So I think there's going to be another situation. I see it happening this Friday, which is the 24th. And I actually have a really big, deep clean dentist appointment that day. So if you don't hear from me for a few days, that's why. And Friday, yes, there's going to be a big bombing of a big ship, and I feel it's linked to that Venezuelan situation. Again, Trump and the US Navy are, bombing, attacking, torpedoing this ship, this warship, and I actually see some sort of war breaking out there between Venezuela and the US. I do see something going on there. I'm not sure the exact details of it, but I do see something happening this Friday with that, so we'll look out for that. It's very controversial. Now, number 6 was, I predicted there'd be big internet Wi-Fi outages affecting lots of businesses and systems and internet systems. I made this prediction. I made 2 predictions. I made it quite a while ago, and then and that was for electrical blackouts. But I've actually made this prediction recently for more of October time, September, October. And it's come in, it's actually come in twice, but this is the second time. This one was massive, and it actually happened in the US as well. Some viewers told me, but it happened in the United Kingdom, And it really did affect a lot of systems. And I actually saw this being a cyber attack. Some people say it's solar flares, or just they didn't even say why it happened. But I felt psychically it was a cyber attack of some sort. So we'll watch what happens with that. Now, these are some new predictions that I have coming up for the near future. The first one is actually a big one. It's to do with Donald Trump. I'm seeing some sort of assassination attempt. Now, this could be an attempt or a foiled attempt where it doesn't actually happen, but they catch the person in time, or it could be a big attempt where they actually fire a gun. So I'm seeing this attempt November this year. The date I got was the 28th of November. It's around Thanksgiving. And I'm seeing that if it is, I do see an attempt happening, but I don't know if this particular one I'm seeing in November is a proper attempt or a foiled attempt. So if it's a foiled attempt, that means the proper attempt may happen a bit later. But I'm still seeing that there will be some sort of big attempt, and I think he'll get wounded on the left side, either injured if he falls on his left side, or he actually gets shot, wounded on the left side or left shoulder. That's what I'm seeing. So if it's foiled, obviously he won't get injured. So we'll watch out for that. I actually feel he's very stressed. He's lost his passion. He's lost his drive in politics. He's heavily influenced by people above him, like a shadow cabinet. He's very stressed. He's in bad health, and that he's hiding it. Vance is patiently waiting or impatiently waiting to be president, and he will be president. I've looked at his astrology chart. I actually predicted Vance 3 years ago. You look at some of my old videos, that's before anyone really knew who he was. So Donald Trump, yes, he is having failing health. And when this assassination attempt does happen, I don't see him necessarily getting killed, or I think he could become a bit ill from it, like exacerbate pre-existing medical conditions, heart conditions. But he will sort of make a slow recovery from it. And I see Vance stepping in to help, stepping in more duties. So we'll watch what happens with that. I think Baron Trump's preparing to be a president at some stage. I actually do see him becoming a president. He'll be quite young when he's inducted, when he's sworn in. I wonder if it's after Vance, or could be, or there's one after Vance, then it's him, or he's after Vance. I don't know, but he's watch this space with Baron Trump. I have to look at his astrology as well. Now, the other prediction I'm making is I'm going to do the royals now. So Prince Andrew, I've posted my old prediction about him. I made it 2 years ago. I just saw a complete downfall for this man. I actually see a new trial happening. Could be to do with a victim, Epstein victim, opening a new trial, a new case. I don't see Andrew making it to the trial. I see a tragic end, well, an abrupt end for him, for his life. And that, of course, will be, I don't know if even if it'll be a state funeral, it might not be, I don't know. I don't know if he's lost his rights, but I don't see him being around for a very long time. And I do wonder if his ending comes around the time of the coronation of the new king. The coronation of the new king, or the UK will have a new king, is May 2026. I've seen that prediction for 10 years. Between 8 and 10 years, I've had that prediction. May 2026, new king, William V, King William V. Now, this leads me to my King Charles prediction. Now, I saw a state funeral end of December, around December 29th, 21st to 29th of December, and then going into the beginning of January. So you know how they lie in state for 7 days or whatever it is, with all the pomp and ceremony. So there'll be some sort of state funeral at the end of this year. Now, I do wonder if it is King Charles, because I look back at my old predictions and actually made a prediction in January that we'd have a new king, because I don't always remember my predictions because I channel them. I'm not always consciously aware of everything I'm saying, unfortunately. But I actually saw a new king at the end of this year, and then I did another prediction last year where I actually saw a new king of the United Kingdom, December 2025 to January 2026. So I do wonder if that is King Charles, because they've just announced 2 days ago that his health is failing. It's really, really bad. So if this does come true, it means he'll pass in 2 months. I wasn't sure if it was Biden. I have a feeling Biden could pass slow just after him, maybe February. So I'm not sure. I never say 100%. I'm not sure who it is, but I think it could be King Charles. I've made loads of predictions on dates and things over the last 2-3 years. So we'll watch that. We'll watch what happens there. I did see a Greek flag flying half mast, so I think King Charles's father was Prince Philip, who was Greek, who isn't technically Greek, but he was born in Corfu under a table. And I always tell you the story that I've seen the house because I was on a boat trip when I was 16, so I saw it where he was born. His mother was Princess Alice. I can't remember who his father was. Linked to Queen Victoria, one of the kids, grandchildren of Queen Victoria, I think. So we'll watch what happens. But yes, Charles, it just feels like the energy is declining. And all this scandal and problems with Prince Andrew has stressed him out. I also see Queen Camilla becoming quite unwell. Quite soon, she could be quite unwell. So we'll watch this space with the royals. Now we're on to I'm going to do some lighter predictions, and then I'm going to answer a few questions. So well, they're not lighter predictions. Let's call them nature and science predictions. I never know what to call them. Okay, the first one that came in this week was a baby rhino fetus. It's a white rhino. I predicted a white rhino from Kenya would have some sort of baby, or a pregnancy, a baby. So it did get pregnant, and it had a fetus. And what came true was the fetus passed. It didn't survive, unfortunately, but it gave rise to new ways of impregnating these one of the white rhinos. There's only two white rhinos left in the world. They're both female. One can't have children, one can through a surrogate. So this could pioneer a technique to eventually she could give birth to another white rhino, and then the species doesn't die out. But it's technically extinct now. It's very sad. So what the prediction was is that a photographer won photographer of the year or special competition of this photograph of this baby white rhino fetus. It's very rare. And it was a photograph, and so this came in. The second prediction was a discovery of a saber-toothed tiger. So they found a baby saber-toothed tiger, perfectly preserved with all the hair. I can't remember where they found it, but they found the fossil of it. Here's a baby one. Then we had number 3 was the seahorse. So there was a new species of seahorse, see-through seahorse, or a really rare seahorse that they would find. And they actually photographed a pygmy seahorse. They're very, very rare, like you never see them. So somebody found one in a coral reef and photographed it. So that came in. That was quite a nice prediction, actually. And the other prediction was Concorde and Overture. So I predicted that there would be something with something supersonic like Concorde, passenger jet, would have a new name. Of course, it's called Overture. And they actually did one of the first tests. They did a first test within the last 7 days. And Concorde, they actually, so 2 predictions. Sometimes it's a double prediction. Concorde, they've announced a couple of days ago that they're actually going to launch it in the next 5 months for passenger flights. So it's the first time since it's been discontinued, that they've actually announced that yes, they will be using Concorde again, and it's a newly designed one as well. Just for those who don't know, Concorde is supersonic. It means it flies faster than the speed of sound. So the flight from London to New York will be half the time. It will be 4 hours. I can't remember the exact time. It could be 3 hours even, but it's 4 hours shorter or half the time of a normal flight. Now we're coming into our questions. I've just got 3 questions to answer quickly for you. Viewers have asked me, is 31 Atlas an alien ship? So 31 Atlas is actually an asteroid. It is not an alien ship, but I do think the US government will say there's an alien invasion to try and detract from everything else that's going on, but it won't be a real alien invasion. Number 2, are the assassination attempts on Donald Trump staged, or are they real? So I feel they are all real. So the one that's happened and the one that will happen, that is yet to happen, even the foiled ones, are all real assassination attempts. He genuinely has enemies. I've looked at his astrology chart in his 12th house. He has enemies, this man. So yes, they are real attempts. They're not staged. And finally, is Trump interested in genuine peace or in Gaza, or is he really interested in real estate deals? And with the Ukraine war, is he interested in peace, or is he interested in some sort of piece of Crimea, like some, you know, deal with the gas in Crimea? What is going on here? Well, I'm being shown naturally by nature he's a businessman. He's always on the lookout for deals. But I actually feel he does want peace as well. Like he doesn't really like the stress of it all. So I would say a little bit of both. He's looking for business deals. He doesn't really like wars to continue. He would rather no war at all. But yes, he's always got his eye out for a real estate deal. And that's why he wanted to do Trump Gaza, where he takes over the Gaza Strip and rebuilds on it. And he wanted a mass exodus where he tells all the Gaza people to move out and go relocate somewhere safer, he's saying, to go to safer places. And then he can build and have it like a Gaza Riviera. So yes, he's very interested in real estate. But he would rather take the easy route, not the difficult route. So that means he would rather avoid war or not have long-term wars. So it's never black and white with these people. There's always nuances. There's always grey areas with how they think. I'm always able to tune into how they think. It's very interesting. And the last thing I'll leave you with, that a lot of these world leaders are puppets. So they're almost mind controlled. They're controlled in a certain way where they're there to fulfill an agenda. So when Trump goes, there'll be Vance. When Vance goes, there'll be someone else, Barron Trump, whoever. And it's always about an agenda. And it's almost like playing a character in a film. So it's interesting stuff. And a lot of it is mapped from when the world began. A lot of the events are mapped. Like some of the stuff that has come in now, even in general life, I predicted it 10 years ago. And sometimes I'll get the phrase of what someone will say, and it comes in. The dates of when somebody will get married, or who the name of the person they'll marry. I mean, it could be anything. It could be any prediction, like someone moving, the exact number of years they'd live in the property. It just shows that it's all mapped. Your decisions are mapped. So it questions, do we really have free will? But yes, maybe we do, because we can actually invert our timeline to be on the positive timeline, get away from all this chaos. But we would have to be really awakened to do that. So hopefully I'm helping you to awaken. Thank you so much for watching. I'd just like to tell you, you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all my social media channels. You can also subscribe to my mystery porthole subscription. Mystery portal, not porthole. It's not a ship. It's nothing to do with ships or submarines. It's portal, mystery portal. You get mystery readings, tarot lessons, crystal and crystal ball readings, horoscopes, vouchers, and much more. It's an amazing subscription, just £10 a month. Available on Substack. It gets emailed straight to your inbox once a month and a couple times a month. And it's an amazing subscription. The advert will be on the YouTube podcast for you, and the links, all the links will be under the videos and podcast descriptions under there. If you would like to book a reading, the booking link for my website is under this podcast, under the video. And I will say thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week for some more world predictions. Bye for now.